Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ultra Prime Selections. I'm so happy to have you here today. You know, Chip and I, we love creating spaces that feel warm, inviting, and full of life, and there's no better way to do that than by bringing in the beauty of nature. That's why today we're talking about something really special, building a self-sufficient garden. Imagine stepping out your back door and into your own little slice of paradise with fresh herbs, vibrant veggies, and the sweetest fruits, all ready to be picked and enjoyed. It's about becoming more connected to the food we eat, understanding where it comes from, and knowing that we had a hand in nurturing it from tiny seed to bountiful harvest. And believe me, there's nothing quite as rewarding as that. So, whether you're working with acres of land or just a sunny windowsill, get ready to dig in as we discover the joy and abundance of a truly self-sufficient garden. Let's get started, y'all. Now, you might be wondering, why go through the effort of creating a self-sufficient garden? Well, for starters, it's about taking control of what we put into our bodies. There's just something so satisfying about knowing exactly where your food comes from, that it's free from harmful chemicals and bursting with freshness. But it goes beyond that. It's about reconnecting with the land, with the rhythms of the seasons, and rediscovering the simple pleasure of growing something beautiful and delicious with your own two hands. Plus, let's be honest, is there anything tastier than a sun-ripened tomato plucked straight from the vine? Or the fragrant aroma of fresh basil filling your kitchen as you cook? I don't think so. So let's embark on this journey together and discover the incredible benefits and delicious rewards of a self-sufficient garden. It's not just about growing food, it's about growing a healthier, more sustainable way of life. All right, y'all, let's get down to business. Today we're diving into the exciting world of garden planning. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, assessing your space is the crucial first step. It's all about understanding what you have to work with and how you can make the most of it. And start planning your dream garden. Imagine a space where you can relax, grow your favorite plants, and enjoy the beauty of nature right at your doorstep. But before we get to the planting, we need to take a good look at our space. The first step is to take stock of what you're working with. Walk around your garden area, take notes, and really observe the space. Notice the different areas, the existing plants, and any structures that might affect your garden layout. Now, don't worry if you don't have a sprawling backyard. Even a small urban space can be transformed into a lush garden oasis. It's all about creativity and smart planning. Whether it's a sunny patio, a balcony begging for greenery, or a few acres of wide open space, there's a gardening solution for everyone. Each type of space has its own unique potential and challenges, and that's what makes gardening so exciting. Start by thinking about the amount of sunlight your space receives throughout the day. Sunlight is a key factor in determining what plants will thrive in your garden. Observe which areas get the most sun and which are more shaded. Most veggies thrive in at least 6 hours of direct sunlight, so keep that in mind as you choose your gardening spot. If you have a sunny area, that's perfect for growing a variety of vegetables and sun-loving plants. Next, consider the size and layout of your space. Measure the dimensions and think about how you can best utilize the area. Sketch out a rough plan to visualize where different plants and features will go. If you're working with a smaller area, raised beds or vertical gardens are fantastic options. Raised beds can help you maximize space and improve soil quality, while vertical gardens allow you to grow more plants in a limited area. They maximize space and create a beautiful, organized look. Plus, they can make gardening more accessible and manageable, especially if you have limited mobility or want to reduce the strain on your back. And for those lucky enough to have more room to roam, think about creating designated areas for different types of plants. This can help you organize your garden and make it easier to care for different plants with varying needs. Like a dedicated herb garden or a sunny spot for your tomatoes. You can also create sections for flowers, shrubs, and even a cozy seating area where you can enjoy your garden. Remember, this is your chance to get creative and design a garden that reflects your style and needs. Think about the colors, textures, and types of plants that you love. But your garden should be a reflection of your personality and a place where you feel at home. So, grab a notebook, jot down some ideas, and let's get planning. Take your time to dream and envision your perfect garden. The more thought and care you put into the planning stage, the more rewarding your gardening experience will be. Happy gardening! Y'all, healthy soil is the foundation of a thriving garden. It's like giving your plants a big old hug from the earth. And the best way to nourish your soil is with compost. Think of it as the magic ingredient transforming kitchen scraps and yard waste into black gold for your garden. Now, composting might sound intimidating, but it's easier than you think. You can start with a simple compost bin or even just a pile in your backyard. Toss in your fruit and veggie scraps, coffee grounds, leaves, even those shredded newspapers. Over time, these materials break down into a nutrient-rich substance that your plants will absolutely love. Plus, composting is good for the environment because it reduces waste going to landfills. It's a win-win for your garden and the planet. All right, now that we've got that good soil ready to go, let's talk about planting. And one of my favorite techniques for a healthy and productive garden is crop rotation. It's like musical chairs for your plants. Basically, you'll want to avoid planting the same type of vegetable in the same spot year after year. Different plants have different nutrient needs, so rotating them helps prevent nutrient depletion in the soil. Think of it like this. If you ate the same meal every day, you'd get tired of it, right? Crop rotation also helps break the life cycles of pests and diseases that might be lurking in the soil. It's a simple but effective way to keep your garden happy and healthy. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, watering. Water is essential for life, and that includes the life of your garden. But just like with anything, too much or too little can cause problems. One of the most important things to remember is to water deeply and infrequently. Instead of giving your plants a light sprinkle every day, water them less often, but really soak the soil when you do. This encourages the roots to grow deeper into the ground, making your plants stronger and more drought tolerant. Plus, it helps prevent those pesky, shallow-rooted weeds from taking over. Y'all, we've all been there. You put in hours of hard work nurturing your garden, watching it grow and flourish. The satisfaction of seeing your plants thrive is unmatched. But then, out of nowhere, you notice something's off. You're so proud of your garden, everything's growing like crazy, and then you spot them. Those pesky little critters who think your hard work is their personal buffet. Aphids, caterpillars, beetles and more, all munching away at your precious plants. It's enough to make any gardener's heart sink. But don't you worry, we can handle those pests without resorting to harsh chemicals. There are plenty of natural, eco-friendly ways to protect your garden. You don't need to reach for those harsh pesticides that can harm the environment and beneficial insects. Instead, let's look at some natural solutions. The best way to keep pests in check is to invite their natural predators over for dinner. Think ladybugs, praying mantises and birds. These beneficial creatures are nature's little helpers, and they can do wonders for your garden. They're like the good guys of the garden, always ready to lend a helping wing or a leg. Ladybugs, for instance, are voracious eaters of aphids. A single ladybug can eat up to 50 aphids a day. Praying mantises are excellent hunters, preying on a variety of insects that can harm your plants. And birds, well, they love to snack on caterpillars and beetles. To make your garden a haven for beneficial insects, try planting a variety of flowers and herbs. Dill, cilantro and yarrow are like magnets for these little helpers. These plants provide nectar and pollen, which attract beneficial insects and give them a reason to stick around. Yarrow, in particular, is a powerhouse plant. It attracts ladybugs, lacewings and parasitic wasps, all of which are excellent at controlling pest populations. By planting a diverse range of flowers and herbs, you're creating a welcoming environment for these beneficial insects. It's all about creating a balanced ecosystem where good bugs keep the bad bugs in check. When you have a healthy mix of plants and beneficial insects, your garden can thrive without the need for chemical interventions. It's a win-win situation for you and the environment. And don't forget about our feathered friends. Birds are fantastic allies in the garden. They help control insect populations and add a touch of beauty and life to your outdoor space. A bird feeder or a bird bath can attract a whole flock of hungry helpers who'll happily snack on those pesky caterpillars and beetles. Providing food and water sources for birds encourages them to visit your garden regularly, keeping pest populations in check. It's like having a free pest control service. And who doesn't love the sound of birdsong in the garden? The chirping and singing of birds can create a serene and joyful atmosphere, making your garden a true sanctuary. So next time you spot those pesky pests, remember that nature has its own way of keeping things in balance. Embrace these natural helpers and your garden will thank you. Okay, y'all, now comes the really rewarding part, harvesting all those beautiful fruits and veggies you've worked so hard to grow. It's a moment of triumph, seeing the fruits of your labor, quite literally, in your hands. The vibrant colors, the fresh scents, and the satisfaction of knowing you nurtured these plants from tiny seeds to bountiful produce. It's truly a gardener's delight, but once you've gathered all this goodness, the next question is, what do you do with it all, but what to do with all that bounty? You might be tempted to give some away to friends and family, which is always a great idea. Sharing the harvest is one of the joys of gardening. However, even after sharing, you might still find yourself with more produce than you can consume before it starts to spoil. This is where preserving your harvest comes into play. Well, preserving your harvest is the key to enjoying your garden's goodness all year round. There are several methods to choose from, such as canning, drying, and fermenting. Each method has its own benefits and can be used for different types of produce. For instance, canning is great for making jams, jellies, and pickles, while drying works well for herbs and certain fruits. Fermenting can add a unique flavor to vegetables like cucumbers and cabbage. But today we're going to focus on one of the simplest and most versatile methods, freezing. One of my favorite ways to preserve the flavors of summer is by freezing. Freezing is quick, easy, and it retains the nutritional value of your produce better than many other methods. Plus, it allows you to enjoy the taste of summer, even in the depths of winter. Imagine pulling out a bag of frozen berries in January to make a smoothie, or adding frozen tomatoes to a hearty stew. It's like having a little piece of your garden available to you all year long. It's like hitting the pause button on freshness. When you freeze your produce at its peak ripeness, you lock in all those wonderful flavors and nutrients. This means that when you thaw them out, they taste almost as fresh as the day you picked them. It's a fantastic way to reduce food waste and make the most of your garden's bounty. Tomatoes, berries, peppers, even herbs. They all freeze beautifully and are ready to use in your favorite recipes whenever you need them. You can freeze whole tomatoes to use in sauces and soups, or slice them up for quicker thawing. Berries can be frozen individually and then stored in bags, making them perfect for baking or snacking. Peppers can be chopped and frozen, ready to be added to stir-fries or casseroles. And herbs can be frozen in a variety of ways, which we'll get into shortly. Just make sure to wash and dry everything thoroughly before freezing. This step is crucial because any dirt or bacteria on your produce can affect its quality and safety once frozen. Washing removes any residual pesticides or soil, and drying helps prevent ice crystals from forming, which can affect the texture of your produce. So take the time to clean your fruits and vegetables properly before moving on to the next step. I like to spread things out on a baking sheet first so they freeze individually. This method, known as flash freezing, prevents the produce from sticking together in one big clump. By freezing them individually, you can easily grab just the amount you need without having to thaw the entire batch. It's especially useful for berries, sliced fruits, and chopped vegetables. And then I transfer them to freezer-safe bags or containers. Make sure to label your bags or containers with the date and contents so you know exactly what you have and when you froze it. This helps you keep track of your inventory and ensures you use the oldest items first. Freezer-safe bags are great because they take up less space and can be easily stacked. Containers are also a good option, especially for more delicate items that you don't want to get crushed. That way, you can easily grab just what you need without thawing the whole batch. This not only saves time, but also helps maintain the quality of your frozen produce. When you only thaw what you need, the rest stays perfectly frozen and ready for future use. It's a simple yet effective way to manage your frozen goods and make meal prep a breeze. And here's a tip for freezing herbs. Chop them up, mix them with a little bit of olive oil. This method helps preserve the flavor and texture of the herbs, making them easy to use in cooking. The olive oil prevents the herbs from getting freezer burn and makes it easy to portion out just what you need. You can use this method for a variety of herbs, such as basil, parsley, cilantro, and more, and freeze them in ice cube trays. Once frozen, you can pop the herb cubes out and store them in a freezer bag or container. This way, you have pre-portioned herbs ready to go whenever you need them. Just toss a cube or two into your dish, and the herbs will melt and infuse your food with fresh flavor. It's a convenient and efficient way to keep your herbs fresh and flavorful. Then you can just pop out a cube or two whenever you're cooking and infuse your dishes with fresh from the garden flavor. This method is perfect for soups, stews, sauces, and even salad dressings. The possibilities are endless, and you'll love the convenience of having fresh herbs at your fingertips. So go ahead, give freezing a try, and enjoy the taste of your garden all year round. And there you have it, your complete guide to building a self-sufficient garden. With a little planning, patience, and care, you can create a thriving space that feeds your body and soul. Remember, gardening isn't just about growing food, it's about cultivating resilience, sustainability, and joy. It's about those quiet moments spent tending to your plants, the satisfaction of harvesting your own food, and the joy of sharing your bounty with loved ones. There's something truly magical about the connection we have with nature, and gardening is a beautiful way to nurture that connection. Thank you for tuning in to Ultra Prime Selections. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more inspiring content, and share your gardening stories in the comments below. Until next time, happy gardening and keep growing.